Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I've been having a bit of a cluttered but productive morning. I stopped by Mark's place again and collected some more cutoffs. So I've been running them through the table saw and ripping them down and using my power planer, this guy here, to smooth them out. And I'm just farting around and having fun. And I think there's been a little bit of that lack of fun in this building project so far. So stripping down this red cedar has been really part of that, because it smells so good and it's so enjoyable to just run pieces through table saw one after the other, let them all come out nice and uniform, take them from chunky and grunky and gross down to something that looks beautiful. And yeah, I think I'm going to try to make something a little bit beautiful today. So I'm just going to work on the settee because the weather is crud outside, and I am going to have myself a coffee and just enjoy, listen to some podcasts, audiobooks maybe, and yeah, let's get today started. Alright, what do you guys think so far? I'm just doing this as a test because I got it pulled off and put insulation and vapor barrier behind it, but look at that. So the cedar slats, like this beam doesn't go all the way to the top, which is a bit of a problem, but the idea I think I'm going to do, stick with me on this, I think I'm going to keep this bare and paint it white, smooth it out with a little fairing. I think I'm going to put cedar slats, because I've got all of this really thin cedar lying around. So I think I'm going to use this because I like its position. Like, it's very comfortable to sit in right now. And Luke helped me like picture it so that if we turn around 180 degrees, I don't know, you could see it kind of through the doorway, but you basically, the windows, you'll see an equal amount of land and water through all the windows at this height. I mean, it's not really like the greatest cedar in the world, it's just like red cedar and a lot of it's sapwood, but for trim it works great. And I'm going to try and decide what kind of seasoning I'm going to do on this thing, or oil it or poly or lacquer, or I don't know. Plus I think I might fill all of these with little dowels and then shave them off. That's a problem for future Simon. Current Simon's really enjoying just the smell of cedar, running it through the table saw and just loving every freaking second of it. Anyway, sorry for the long rant. We're going to admire a little bit of the beautiful sun because it came out for like the next 20 minutes, and we're going to enjoy a little bit of it, and then we're going to get back to work. Alright, we got some cedar planking back up there. I spent a good chunk of this evening over with Captain Mike fixing up his outboard. He's got a 15 horse 700 long leg, and he's been wanting to put it on the back of his boat. He's been out of outboard motor for a while, which has been kind of nice for me because it means that he's been in the bay the whole time. And with everyone else disappearing, I mean, there's nobody else in the bay other than me and Mike right now, so it's nice having him around. But I did eat up a bit of my time, so I'll have to continue the settee and all of this rest of this fun stuff. I think I'm gonna like really just crack on with the insulation and get all of that in tomorrow, and the vapor barrier, just so that I could like get the cedar up and then start using this space and be like, yeah, It's done. Feels good. It's done. And speaking of feeling good, I'm gonna have this fantastic bacon Alfredo penne with some kale and tomato and hot peppers, and I'm just gonna love it. And so yeah, I'll pick this episode up tomorrow. Alright, well, it's as you can tell, another day, and it's finally bright and sunny. We've had one hell of a storm the last few days. It's been basically a 3-day long storm, nice 45 knot winds, and a absolute colossal amount of water coming out from the sky. So I took some time off. I've been catching up on the editing, and I'm also dead broke, so I've been working some side jobs to help fund it. That's the thing I love about this boat project, man, because doing it on YouTube, doing it on Gabriel Island, doing it the way I'm doing it means that it always just seems to work out, you know, whether it's new patrons, which by the way, thank you so much for all the new patrons that have been stumbling onto our page. There's a live stream camera, which I found out that you guys can actually yell at me through the other day. I was out on the deck and I had somebody yell at me, which was weird and cool, but yeah, and also big thank you to everyone who's been hitting the wish list and the gifts and other things. But you know, if it's not you guys, it's the sponsors. If it's not the sponsors, there's work to be done here on the island, and it always just seems to work out. So I'm a little delayed right now because I'm waiting on the next paycheck to buy more stainless screws, because this has burned up a lot of stainless screws. I think honestly that it might be more weight in stainless screws putting this in than the actual wood, because that's the nice thing about the cedar. It is so light. And of course, I did mention that I got all this cedar for free, so I could make it pretty thick, which is so nice to have. Down here, it's plywood with cedar over top of it, and we're gonna epoxy that next. But up here, it's just slats. I made it so that I can remove them again if I need to run wires behind it or anything else like that. And I think what I might do is tuck little lights up in here, and of course these beams, they're gonna get covered up because as you can tell, they don't look very good. But very soon I've got a plan for that, and I'll let you guys in on that once we get there. And this will be a companionway to the cockpit eventually, but I'm not gonna cut that. I learned my lesson with the windows. I'm not gonna cut that till I'm ready to cut that. As much as I'd love to have a nice door in the back and start building that deck right away. I don't have the money or the materials, or I haven't finished paying my welder to build the bimini yet, so yes, that'll all have to wait. For now, I think we can do some epoxy work. That is a massive piece of driftwood. Of course, by the West Coast standards, it's really not that big at all. But maybe Captain Mike can do something with it. You know, he's always looking for more material to carve. And look at these swirls, isn't this pretty? using the batteries to hold Cedar down. I was trying to figure out a way of doing fasteners. I don't have a nail gun, and then nail guns, they would rust eventually in the salt air. Even with me sealing them up pretty good, I don't think I do a perfect job. So I'm just gonna pressure fit them, and I've got lots of epoxy, so I just used epoxy, and epoxy is a lot stronger than nails in many applications, and this would be one of them. Large, thin pieces of cedar, because cedar's not very strong. You know, it's not that strong, but it is very, very light. And so I get a nice cedar background, and cedar floor, cedar this, cedar that, and it's not going to cost me weight or money. Isn't that great? Awesome. All right, I think I'm going to continue working on this floating battery box here, get it totally sealed up, and build the step over top of it. Alright, well, that kick bar is installed, and so is this one on that side. You want to come up and take a look? I haven't just been sitting around in my bunk, thank you very much. Not bad, eh?
Not bad. Looks like a bank.
A bank?
Bank account.
A battery bank account.
Yeah. The most important battery bank you can have is... Yeah.
Well, it's not just like my regular bank account. It's certainly not full.
It's a real bank account. Not just numbers.
Oh, it's invisible.
Yeah.
Magic juice inside.
Nice work.
Well, the Kodiak is going strong. We're just wiring up a spare work light. Forgot Mike, this little floodlight here.
Life. Hey, hey, hey. That's how we get through a winter day. Spark it up, but sparky.
So speaking of lights, Oki sent out this little guy, and he's just a touch sensitive light. And it runs off of 12 volt, but also it comes with a power brick to run it off 110. And we're just using a 110 outlet right now. But Mike built himself a little shelf for it. We put it up here and it lights up the cabin pretty good.
Pretty good. Lights up the whole cabin. Excellent. And then you get a Christmas tone, right?
Yeah, how do you do that?
I don't know how to do that.
There you go. Oh, and it switches colors, eh? It just cycles. Oh, that's really cool. Anyway, it's a really pretty affordable light that they've got there, and the cool thing about it is it's very bright, and I think it's set maximum to burn 15 watts. Oh, maximum power 6 watts. I was wrong.
Yay.
6 watts. So it really produces a lot of light for
less power.
Yeah. Which is nice on the Kodiak and nice on your little solar system, because this time of year we only get about 6 hours of daylight, and we spend the rest of it in the darkness. So it's nice to have a good light. And if you want, I'll include a link in the description. They just sent this thing off for me to check out. And I'm always down to give Cab Mike another light in the dark.
Arr, thank you, lady.
And that way, I'm not the only beacon of light in this bay. Well, we're back on the boat, and those fleeting moments of daylight are long gone. I have myself a little dinner, but you know, the storm is rolling back in. I guess we were in the eye of it for a little bit. It was a nice sunny moment. Yeah, we got more storm. Nice thing about that is with all the wind and rain going on, nobody minds if I use a couple of my smaller power tools all night long. If I want to, I can work on this boat. So that's the nice thing about being moored out here in Dead Man's Bay in the winter. Everyone's gone, and it's quiet out here. And when the storm's going, no one can hear, and no one's disturbed by any of my tools. So I'm gonna profit from that. Lay up more of these cedar planks. This time I'm doing the stuff just above the window, right in that area, and down the sides. And then I'm gonna figure out something to do at the bottom. I want to make like a nice handrail that I can grab onto. And of course I'll have to varnish the snot out of that because my hands are hardly ever clean. And I don't want to leave grease marks and oil marks and stuff like that all over my woodwork. So we'll get to that, but I'm gonna leave you guys tonight, and we'll catch up next episode. So thanks for watching, and big ups to everyone on the Patreon. You guys are awesome. And if you could like only yell like nice stuff through the camera. Like, I get people just yelling at me that I'm not working hard enough. It was kind of creepy. All right, well, that's it for me tonight, guys. Good night.